How can you find your future wife? Throughout this video, I have a success story to share with all of you in which this particular subscriber went from a marriage that ended in divorce, his ex-wife betrayed him, to healing, filling in his knowledge gap, and finding a woman who recently he got married to, and he's a very happy man indeed. Because this time around, he did it the right way. Without further ado, let's get right into his case study. But let me just begin with a Bible verse which encompasses the theme of today's video. Proverbs 18 verse 22. He who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor of the Lord. This is God's will. This subscriber, for any of you who do not know, is very special to me because he is the first subscriber who ever sent me an email. Back when I started the YouTube channel in October of 2019, just 2 months later, December of the same year, he sent me an email. An older gentleman in his mid to late 30s. And since then, as you all know, I've had many, many more. And he's stuck around. He's been watching my content. He's been educating himself. And now he has achieved results. And this success story is he's here to inspire some of you. To understand that when you really apply the things that I teach, you will find a godly spouse. I'm going to keep his name private though and refer to him as Jimmy. But knowing him, he's definitely going to leave a comment down below in the YouTube video. He says, "Hello, my friend, and as promised, here is my success story. I'll keep it short and to the point. I was born and raised in a good Christian family, and I honestly have no regrets. Growing up, I had great friends, good education. However, I've been a people pleaser. Very codependent, low self-esteem, no boundaries, no identity. You can't lead, protect, and provide as a man if you're a people pleaser. That's a symptom of weakness. And there's no shame in staying weak, but there's no shame in being weak, but there is shame in staying weak. His mistake was he never got rid of that people pleaser. And as a result, I often ended up stuck in toxic relationships. Never quite realizing just how many toxic women are out there waiting for a kind, understanding, and compassionate man willing to do anything for them. I suppose you can say I had to learn the hard way, and I was naive to say the least. Sometimes the hard way is the only way. And for most of you watching, as I always say, prevention is better than cure. I'm sharing these case studies, the good ones and the bad ones, so that you can learn from the life choices that others have made, see the pattern in what they did that worked and what didn't, and tweak, refine, and apply to your life so you can get same or if not better results. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. But most men have a big ego. The bigger the pride, the bigger the fall. And when you're down on the ground, that's when most guys are ready to humble themselves and come to terms with the fact that they have a knowledge gap, or they're lustful, or they have low self-esteem, and there's something they need to fix and figure out if they want to have a different outcome in their relationships, which is exactly what he did. Back in 2000, the year 2000, I married a woman with BPD. At the time, I had no idea what BPD was, borderline personality disorder. I quickly found out just how devastating life can be for someone suffering with mental illness. And trust me, it can be equally devastating for their spouse as well. Long story short, she committed adultery, and that was the end of the marriage. Well, so other than him being a people pleaser, because he didn't prepare or plan ahead for marriage, he never even considered giving this woman a proper background check. He was missing information, wisdom. As he said, he didn't even know what BPD is. Now, for those of you who have read my book, when you go to the chapter on red flag awareness, what is the first red flag? Avoid mentally unstable women. And I say that for a reason. People who are mentally unwell, who have serious defects in the chemistry within their brain, they are not at a place in their life or they are prepared to be in a mutually giving relationship. They are simply incapable. They need external assistance. They need help. You can try and fix and save them, but you're going to lose yourself in the process. Not to mention, I have a few case studies on the channel, such as avoiding mentally unstable women. You can Google that, type it in on my channel, and you'll see exactly what happened. Mentally unstable, monkey branching drama is another one. You can see how these men utterly destroyed their self-worth and their own health suffered because they're caregiving someone who's mentally unwell. And when you are not professionally trained as a therapist, you do not have the tools in your equipment to deal with someone who's suffering with such mental trauma. You're going to burn out. And because the average guy doesn't prepare for a marriage, he doesn't plan ahead, he overlooks red flags, incompatibility, and he doesn't know any better. He makes a choice based on emotion. Marriage is never at fault. It's either the man or the woman who is. And in this case, he wasn't the right man because he wasn't prepared, so naturally he got involved with a woman who he should have never been with. But he learned the lesson. So, as he said, it was equally devastating for him as well, dealing with her mental illness problems. Long story short, she betrayed him, and that was the end of the marriage. And biblically speaking, if your partner cheats on you, you have every right to either leave or stay. And leave he did, so he can start fresh. After taking a few years on my own as a single man, I was back on the dating scene. The only problem was I was still a people pleaser. You need to fix the root cause. I was still making bad decisions and choosing partners that were either not right for me or simply not ready or mature enough to date. It was only until I began reaching out to some very wise and knowledgeable men in my life that I started seeing just how much damage I was causing to myself by being a people pleaser and not searching for what I specifically wanted and needed in a woman. What do I say all the time? Courtship is building a foundation for marriage. You are very detailed on what you want. You make sure before you commit that you both are on the same page and want the same things out of life. If not, you can't walk together because you can't agree. You can't build a bond on an emotional level. It will never deepen because there's no substance, there's no connection. I also discovered dating coaches such as yourself, Craig, Kenneth, and the Love Chat. I have heard of them. And this is when my eyes were finally opened. I began applying the various truths that you shared in my everyday life, and I started feeling more confident, wise, and hopeful. Makes me happy to hear that. I finally realized I didn't need a relationship to be happy in my life, but rather I wanted to find a woman who was grounded, mature, and truly loving. Now you're talking. See, when it comes to needing, there's a difference between needing someone in your life out of appreciation, respect, you genuinely value them, versus needing them out of neediness, insecurity, fear, emotional instability, lack of confidence, lack of identity. Which is why if you're not right with God, you're not a righteous man, you're always going to be needy and insecure. But now he wanted to find a woman who was grounded because he's got himself right now as a man. He knows what he wants. So of course he wants a woman who wants the same. Very simple. What is it that I say all the time? You are responsible for the quality of woman that you choose. He knows now. Then, after much prayer, self-improvement, and relearning how to do relationships, he writes this with a little wink on the end. I love it. I finally met this amazing woman who knows what her core values are and knows what she wants in a man and how to love a man. Now we're talking. But guess what? This wouldn't have been possible if you hadn't put in the work to make sure that you were ready for marriage. Or else you would have never even seen a woman with these qualities because she would stay away from a man who's needy. Back when you were a people pleaser, this was impossible. But now that you're confident and you're grounded in truth, it's working out for you. Contrary to the other women I dated in the past, she wasn't needy because you're not needy. So you attract this into your life. She enjoyed the dating process and was patient. Good self-control, long-suffering, patience. She has the fruits of righteousness. She was firm in her Christian faith and firm in her understanding of who she is as a woman and who I am as a man. Just gets better and better. She let me take the lead. She's happy to be feminine. She finds you attractive. She respects you. She knows how to treat a man. She fulfills her role. It works. She didn't try to push me to commit. Very important. I mentioned that in my book. She trusted my judgment and my leading because you're living with honor and integrity. You truly are confident in who you say you are. Remember, a woman's submission can only be given when your dominance is received. And being dominant means you are assertive, you're calm and collected, your peace, your words and actions match, you have integrity, you are loyal, you keep her safe and protected. Then she's going to open up her heart and let you take the lead. And she will follow you wherever you go. That's how it works. We dated for 1.5 years, and I must say, dating her was a complete joy and pleasure. Your woman should be your joy. And that's why Proverbs 18:22 says, he who findeth a woman findeth a good thing, because she's either wife material or she's not. And because she was, great. Now you can have a relationship with her. She's going to be consistent from the day you meet until the day she dies, because that's who she is. I finally felt truly loved, and I also knew without a doubt that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. Physically attracted to each other, mutually compatible, everything is aligned. You're on the same page. You got a green light. Go, go, go. Well done. That's what it takes. You don't need to waste 7 years in a relationship and see where it goes. 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years for a Christian couple works out. So 1.5 years they courted each other. Perfect. We got married in August, and I've never been so blessed and satisfied like this before. And he knows this because he had a divorce that failed because he married the wrong woman and she cheated on him. So he knows the bad side, and now he has a good experience. Thank you for your wisdom, my young friend. God bless you. Well, God bless you too, Jimmy. Thank you for sharing this success story and giving me access to share it with other men. It's going to definitely help them. And even for the ladies too watching. Very short, right to the point. I love it. So for those of you who would like to achieve the same results as he did, and you're interested in joining my relationship mastery to see if you're eligible and you want to fill in your knowledge gap, get right with God, all right? Have access to me, work with me, and learn everything that you need to know, what are you waiting for? Book a coaching call. The link is down below in the description. You go on relearningrelationships.com, press the book a call button, choose a time and date that suits you, and we will see if you can join. Now, if any of you have a success story or a bad one, and you want me to share it on YouTube to educate other men and women so that they can learn from your experience, also send me an email, link down below in the description. Any other questions, you'd like to learn a little bit more about what I teach, my book is on Amazon, all the other links are in the description. With that said, hope you have a wonderful day. God bless all of you and your families, and let me know what you think about Jimmy's story down below. Chat to you soon.